We talked about this being the game of the week and Seattle losing this game 21-19 and having a chance at the end to make a field goal to win the game. I felt going into the game, and I believe Nick did too, these were the two best teams in football. It was a little ugly at times. The Hawks turned it over 4 times on 4 Sam Darnold picks. They were 1 of 4 in the red zone, and yet still had a 60-yard field goal to win it at the end. That's amazing. Now, the field goal wasn't close. I actually thought, oh my God, he's going to make this.
Dome. It's in the dome.
I want to just hit on Sam Darnold real quick. I'm going to focus here more on Seattle rather than the Rams. By the way, this shifted NFC West odds big time. So now the Rams are a 74% chance to win the NFC West, even though they still play the Seahawks again at Seattle. And Seattle fell to 17%. So this shifted the outlook big time. This game was very meaningful from that standpoint. Darnold is an interesting topic because Darnold's a risk taker that needs to be smarter when he gets sped up. I think in summary, that's kind of how I feel about where he's at. He was 29 of 44 in the game, threw it 44 times. This is not a great rushing team, by the way. Despite the fact they have 2 pretty good running backs, they're not great at running the ball. 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. He seems to have kind of this like panic gene in him, right? When he gets sped up, that they can get him to make mistakes. I think the Rams knew that. In the biggest moments of Sam's career after the Jets days, right? Because there weren't many big moments when he was with the Jets. Most of those big moments started with the Vikings when he was finally a contender.
Yeah, last
and
year,
then they've continued with Seattle on 2 really good teams, right? In the playoffs last year against the Rams, he took 9 sacks. He was just holding on to the ball a bunch, and people were like, gosh, he's not. And it wasn't like they were getting to him right away. It was like he wasn't seeing things. He was afraid to make a mistake, all these things, and it lost him the game. This past weekend, he took 0 sacks, but it was his 3rd career game with 0 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. That's more than anyone else since the year 2000. To have 3 games with 0 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. When he gets sped up, I believe it's very obvious that he tries to make these hero and YOLO throws. Like, you only live once. Like, let this thing go. Try to make a play. He obviously doesn't want to get sacked. This, like, overcorrection from last year's playoff game against the Rams. So he's willing to do some kind of silly things, right? Now, here's one of the reasons, I'll note this, why I think this happened against the Rams. The Seahawks have had a ton of success this year lining up with bigger people personnel, meaning like 2 backs, 1 tight end, and only 2 receivers. Or 1 back, 2 tight ends, and only 2 receivers. So not as much like 3 and 4 wide receiver sets. And Sam has diced teams up out of those looks in the passing game. And the Rams, typically what happens is that when the Seahawks line up with bigger people on the field, more tight ends and backs than receivers, most of the time teams will match that personnel with their regular personnel. Base personnel. And so Sam's like, hey, we're really good at throwing against base personnel defense. So we're going to go with like 2 tight ends and 1 back or 2 backs.
Let's get our matchups.
Yeah, let's get matchups.
Yep.
The Rams said, you know what? And the reason teams don't usually go with their sub personnel, like an extra DB on the field, against those personnel looks for the Seahawks is because it exposes them in the run game.
Yep.
And so they go, we don't want an extra DB on the field. We want another linebacker because we're where they're going to run it. The Rams said, no, forget that. Smartly, the Rams said, no, forget that. We're not worrying about them running all over us. We know what Sam does. We know what their offensive coordinator's thinking. They're trying to get us to go base and then throw it against us. The Rams went sub for most of the game against big people, an extra DB on the field, still brought pressure, and defended the hell out of the pass. They went nickel a lot more against 12 personnel, which is 1 back, 2 tight ends. The Rams matched in a different way. And when they did that, it resulted in big plays for the Rams. 2 of their interceptions came when the Rams decided to throw an extra DB on the field, not worry about the run game, and defend the pass and bring pressure with the secondary. That's when 2 of those interceptions took place. So I bring that up because I think that's one of the reasons this happened. But from your experience as a quarterback, what does Sam have to do to get over this hump? Because he hasn't had that many big moments in his career, but when he has, he's fallen on his face. And right now, Sam is a top 10 to 12 quarterback in the league. He's not a top 5. But for him to be in that mix, he's got to get past this thing that haunts him, where in big games, he tends to fall flat on his face. How does he do it? What does he have to do? What has to change? Does he have to just calm down in the face of pressure, take checkdowns? He made some terrible decisions in this game. Terrible.
Yeah.
Yet they still had a chance to win because of their defense.
Yeah. I mean, I think the big thing...
If you were his quarterback coach, what would you be telling him right now?
I think the big thing, you always try to simplify things in your mind. I was just talking to a group of people about this the other day. In big moments, when games are huge, Like when in 2017 when Carson got hurt and I went against the Rams, and it's hard going in the middle of a game cold. Carson's having a great game. Man, instantly, doubt, fear, everything creeps in, and you have to conquer it. That's playing sports. We've talked about it. Like we all face it. We all deal with it. Even if we don't talk about it, we all deal with it. But it's how we conquer it, right? Mm-hmm. How we step on the field, how we have the courage to go do it. And I remember right before I stepped in the huddle, I'm thinking, man, it's all. You feel like it's all on you. Like it's all the weight of the team and all the outcome and all the decisions is on one person, which is a lot of pressure on a quarterback. When I stepped in the huddle in that game, in the middle of the game at the end to finish it off, my final thought when I looked up to look in the huddle to call the play was I saw, 20 eyes, 10 people. I think I did the math right there. Mm-hmm. And I realized right then, it's like, I'm just one of 11 out here. These guys are really good. We're a really good team. I got good players. They're going to do their job. Like Bill Belichick, before he was at UNC, I don't know if he's still preaching this. I know he was just at a cheerleading competition with his girlfriend, so things are different now. Said, do your job. Do your job. I remember thinking like, man, I just got to do my job. Like Doug's going to call the play. I just need to simplify. Hey, double stick. All right, I'm going to just outside.
That probably got rid of a lot of anxiety for you, right?
And that's the key as a quarterback is how do I get rid of the anxiety? How do I clear the clutter in my mind? We always said be where my feet are. I always go to Matthew 6:34 from the Bible, just, not worrying about the future and the things just being where you are. And as a quarterback, that's the biggest thing is how do you clear your mind to be just not thinking about, oh my gosh, I'm playing against the Rams. Like we have to win this game. This is a big game. I've got to force throws. I got to be Superman. The games that I struggled in were the games where I felt like I had to do too much. The games that I played great in were the games that I realized like, you know what? I'm going to let the big plays come to me and I'm just going to play the play. I'm gonna execute it, and if it's not there, I'm gonna check it down. Be smart with the ball. I'm gonna make sure that we stay inside the chains. If I have to throw it away and it's not there, I'm not gonna force it. But if it's a game time, throw and I have to force it, I'm going to. But just having that mentality, and Doug Peterson, Andy Reid, great coaches always used to say, faceless opponents. And what that means is don't look at the helmets on their side. Don't think you're playing against this amazing Ram team, or the Chiefs have done that to people. Oh, we're playing against the Chiefs. Well, now that's going away. Hey man, like we are good. If we just execute what the play called, and if it's not there, I just check it down and don't make it worse, we're going to be fine. We have a really, really good team. And this might be a game where the offense just struggles, but as long as we protect the ball and keep moving the ball, I mean, I go back to the division.
They protect the ball, they win that game.
They win the game. Yeah. I mean, the fact that they were in that situation with 4 turnovers, Rams were +3 in the turnover margin.
The Rams only had 21 points.
Exactly. It shows. I think Sam can go back, and if I'm the coach, but hey, Sam, man, listen, okay, who cares? Let's move on. Let's just watch this tape. It's gonna suck, but I make it light. Hey, listen, yeah, it's here, but let's not. The world isn't falling. Like we're playing football. Yeah. You're doing great. It's a great season. Let's get the whole perspective of this. We have a really good team right here. You don't need to force this throw. You're trying to do too much, man.
Like the jump throw where he stepped up in the pocket and threw a pick. It's like,
listen, Sam, we know you have this ability and you have these abilities, but like we don't need to do that. You're not on the Jets anymore where you have to do it. You are now
a really good point.
On the Seattle Seahawks, just like he was with the Minnesota Vikings. You are on a good team, man. We got a great defense. If you don't turn over the ball and we punt it, they are deep in their own territory. Our defense is going to get us the ball back. We're going to get better field position. We're going to then have a chance. And that's just how those games go. You have to know the divisional round against the Falcons. I remember that game was like, we won like 15-13 or something. And I remember in that game, it was like, man, it was hard to move the ball, but it was a field position battle, punting deep in their own territory. That's how that game went. And then there's other games that are shootout. Just understand the game, understand why plays are called, and see how your defense is playing. It's a team sport. So for him,
so you think with Sam, it's less about like going back to the drawing board on mechanics or even scheme, and more getting here with Sam.
Whatever you can do as a coach
in his head.
It's just when you step in the huddle.
Yeah.
The biggest thing is realizing I got 10 guys here that I'm gonna go to battle with right now, and I just need to do my job. And I gotta trust them. Even if
the only guy that can't do that is Josh Allen. He has to be Superman. But Sam, you're saying, needs to rely on his teammates more.
Yes, rely on it and just leave it. But the big plays will come. Yeah. Like even Josh Allen, like, yeah, he's doing those things, but the big plays are coming. He's not searching for them.
Yeah.
And he has the ability to do those things. So sports, anything we do, golf, we talk about golf. The reason I love golf and I keep going back to golf is we're both like moderate golfers. We can go out there and we can have a great shot, then we're going to have a bad. We're just a normal golfer, right? But the thing I love about it, it's such a mindset sport. The harder you swing, the harder you try and golf, what happens? You play worse. I know from a thrower, when I try to really muscle the ball and throw it with all my strength, it's going to flutter. It's probably going to go slower. It's going to go shorter, and it's going to wobble, and it's not going to be as accurate, which is crazy because you're like, I'm going to throw it harder. It's going to be better. No. When I threw it further and faster and more accurate, it was just, I just flicked it. And my body was just in sync. So that's the key to sport. That's why it's so hard. And he's in a position right now in Seattle. It's hard when you're on bad teams, man. It is very hard to get in that. I struggled trying to get in that because we just weren't good enough as a team. So you in your mind are like, I have to make a play. I'm going to have to do something. But when you're on a good team, like when I was with the Eagles or when I played for the Chiefs, man, you can sort of, it's not that you get complacent. You can take a breath and say, listen, we are good. Our coaches are good. Let's just do our job.
So Seattle's defense, to that point, held the Rams to 249 total yards, a very good Rams offense, and really shut them down after the Rams' first 2 touchdowns. So Stafford was 15 of 28 on the game, 130 yards. That's it for Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
2 touchdowns, no interceptions. They couldn't really turn him over.
No interceptions.
But if you're the Rams, like, you got to love that your defense stepped up and made Darnold uncomfortable and forced turnovers. But if you're Seattle, you're optimistic about where you are, given that you were a field goal away from winning this thing. So these teams will meet again on Thursday, December 18th. I hate that this is a Thursday game.
Yeah, flex this thing to a Sunday night game, man.
It's like
flex it.
The one thing wrong with the NFL has so many things right. The one thing that is wrong is I can't stand Thursday night football. And the games, to me, don't feel as big. Teams look ill-prepared for the most part. I know they're not 100% healthy.
You know it's vanilla play.
It's dumb.
It's tough, man.
And the fact that this is going to be a Thursday game kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
You know what's the best part about being a player on a Thursday game? Like, because you're hurting.
No practice.
It's walkthroughs, and you know both teams are in the same situation, right? So, like, let's remember that. Like, there's no team. The advantage is the home team because you're not traveling. But you get a nice weekend. You get a mini bye.
It's a mini bye.
Yeah, right. But it feels a lot better when you win the Thursday night with the mini bye. Yeah. When you lose, you got to think about it all weekend.
I don't love that it's a Thursday game, but it is what it is. And it's something to keep an eye on because, look, Seattle got beat, and their odds to win the division fall. But at the same time, we know watching that game that this is still a dangerous team. Sam, the next step in his career, he's proven he can be a legit franchise quarterback. He's done it two years in a row now. But the next step in his career is conquering that beast in his mind in these big games of kind of falling flat on his face. And I'm a Sam Darnold fan. I think all the talent is there. And like you just eloquently stated, a lot of this is between your ears and feeling like all of a sudden on a bigger stage, I have to do more. Yeah. And it was obvious throughout the course of that game with him forcing balls, uncharacteristically placing balls where you're like, Sam, what are you doing? That's not your game, right? And so it'll be very interesting to watch in the second matchup how that all plays out because Seattle is built to win and go deep. This is a really good football team, and I can't wait to watch how it goes.
I mean that's Sam's. I mean, as a player, you always think like one or two things. The next big step for Sam is in the big games, big moments.
Right.
Treat them like any other game.
Right.
That's the